top 5 US 1 cent United States of America coin. Welcome to Coin Collector's Corner. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of ultra-rare US 1 cent coins. These pennies may seem small, but their history and value are monumental. Let's explore the top 5 rarest and most valuable 1 cent coins in United States history. Make sure to stick around for the entire video, as number 1 will surprise you. 1973 US 1 cent. The 1973 US 1 cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln cent, is part of a long legacy of coins that started back in 1909. This coin was designed to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse side features a portrait of Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse side, at the time, displayed the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. The 1973 Lincoln cent is composed primarily of copper, 95% to be exact, with the remaining 5% made up of tin and zinc. This composition was standard for the penny until 1982, when the cost of copper led the U.S. Mint to switch to a primarily zinc composition. In 1973, the U.S. Mint produced pennies at 3 different facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 3.7 billion coins. The Denver Mint produced about 3.5 billion, and the San Francisco Mint produced around 319 million, primarily for proof sets. To identify where your 1973 penny was minted, look for the mint mark just below the date. No mint mark indicates it was minted in Philadelphia. AD means Denver, and an S signifies San Francisco. Proof coins, which have a more polished and detailed appearance, were minted in San Francisco and are usually found in collector's sets. Now, let's talk about the value. Most 1973 pennies in circulation are worth their face value, just 1 cent. However, coins in exceptional condition, especially those with mint state grades, can be worth more. Uncirculated coins, particularly those with a high grade from a grading service like PCGS or NGC, can fetch a few dollars each. Proof coins from San Francisco can be even more valuable, especially if they are still in their original proof sets and in perfect condition. The value of these proof coins can range from a couple of dollars to over $10 depending on the quality and demand. Here are some interesting facts about the 1973 penny. Transition year: the early 1970s were a time of transition for the penny, as discussions were already underway about changing its composition due to the rising cost of copper. Historical context: the coins were minted during the Nixon administration, a period marked by significant events like the end of the Vietnam War and the Watergate scandal. Design longevity: the Lincoln Memorial reverse design remained in use until 2008, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. 1979 U.S. 1 cent. The 1979 U.S. 1 cent coin, also known as the Lincoln cent, is part of a series that began in 1909. This series commemorates the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent replaced the Indian head cent and has since become an iconic piece of American coinage. Brenner's design features a right-facing profile of Lincoln on the obverse side, while the reverse side, at that time, depicted 2 wheat ears framing the denomination and the words 1 cent. However, in 1959, to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the reverse design was changed to the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. Now let's zoom in on the 1979 Lincoln cent. This coin was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint's coins are distinguished by their mint marks: no mint mark for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. 1979 was an interesting year for coin production. The coins minted in Philadelphia and Denver were primarily for circulation, while the San Francisco Mint produced both proof coins and circulation coins. Proof coins are specially made for collectors, featuring a higher quality strike and a mirror-like finish. The 1979 Lincoln cent is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc. It weighs 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. The coin's edge is smooth, adding to its sleek, iconic appearance. Now, you might be wondering about the value of a 1979 US 1 cent coin. While its face value is just 1 cent, its worth to collectors can vary significantly based on condition, rarity, and mint mark. For instance, a regular 1979 penny from Philadelphia or Denver in circulated condition is typically worth just its face value or slightly more. However, an uncirculated or proof coin from San Francisco can fetch a higher price. In mint condition, a 1979 proof Lincoln cent can be valued anywhere from $1 to $10 or more, depending on the quality of the strike and the preservation of the coin. On the other hand, a 1979 D or 1979 coin in pristine condition might be worth around 30 cents to a few dollars. 1974 1 cent. The obverse of the 1974 penny features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's portrait has graced the 1 cent coin since 1909, making it the longest-running design in U.S. coinage history. 1974 was a pivotal year in the history of the U.S. penny. The economic climate of the early 70s led to rising copper prices, prompting the U.S. Mint to explore alternative materials for coinage. The reverse of the coin showcases the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design was created by Frank Gasparro, then chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. In 1974, the Mint experimented with an aluminum penny due to the high cost of copper. About 1.5 million of these aluminum pennies were struck, but they were never released into circulation due to concerns from the vending machine industry and health professionals. Today, most of these aluminum cents have been destroyed, making the few remaining examples extremely rare and valuable. Despite these experiments, the 1974 penny we know today remained composed primarily of copper, with a small percentage of zinc. This composition had been standard since 1962. So, what's the value of a 1974 penny today? In circulated condition, these pennies are generally worth just their face value 1 cent. However, uncirculated and proof versions can be worth more, especially if they are in pristine condition. For example, a 1974 proof penny can fetch a higher price among collectors. The value of any coin is influenced by several factors: its condition, rarity, and demand among collectors. While the 1974 penny isn't particularly rare, those in mint condition or with unique errors can be quite valuable. Keep an eye out for any minting errors, such as off-center strikes or double dies. These errors can significantly increase the value of your coin. 1995 1 cent. The obverse of the 1995 penny features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has remained largely unchanged since its debut, making it one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history. On the reverse, we see the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparro, which has been featured on the penny since 1959, marking the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Now, let's talk about the specifications. The 1995 penny is composed primarily of zinc, with a thin copper coating. It weighs 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. As for mint marks, the 1995 penny was produced at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, indicated by the lack of a mint mark or a small d respectively. So what about the value of a 1995 penny? In general circulation, a 1995 penny is worth its face value of 1 cent. However, there are a few exceptions that can make these coins more valuable to collectors. Coins in exceptional condition, known as mint state, can be worth more. For example, a 1995 penny graded MS65 by the professional coin grading service PCGS can be valued between $1 to $3. If you happen to find a coin with a high grade of MS67, it could be worth up to $20 or more. Additionally, keep an eye out for error coins. Errors like double dies or misstrikes can significantly increase the value of a penny. For instance, a 1995 double die penny can be worth anywhere from $20 to $50 depending on its condition. In conclusion, while most 1995 pennies are only worth a cent, there are certain conditions and errors that can make them quite valuable to collectors. So, next time you come across a 1995 penny, take a closer look. You might just have a hidden treasure in your hand. 1996 US 1 cent. The 1996 Lincoln cent continues this long-standing tradition. Let's take a closer look at its specifics. On the obverse, we see Lincoln's profile with the word liberty to his left and the year 1996 to his right. Above Lincoln's head, the phrase "In God We Trust" is prominently displayed. Flipping the coin over, the reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial, Flanked by the inscriptions United States of America and E pluribus unum at the bottom, we find the denomination 1 cent. One important detail to note is the mint mark, which indicates where the coin was produced. In 1996, Lincoln cents were minted in Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver denoted by a D. The mint mark can be found just below the year on the obverse side. In 1996, the Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 6.6 billion Lincoln cents, while the Denver Mint produced around 6.5 billion. These high mintage numbers make the 1996 penny quite common in circulation. Now, let's talk about the value. Given the high mintage, most 1996 Lincoln cents found in circulation are worth just their face value of 1 cent. However, coins in exceptional condition, especially those graded by professional services, can be worth more to collectors. A 1996 Lincoln cent in uncirculated condition, graded MS65 or higher, can fetch between $1 and $5. Rare error coins, such as those with double dies or off-center strikes, can be worth significantly more, depending on the severity and demand among collectors. Error coins are always a fascinating aspect of numismatics. Keep an eye out for anomalies like die cracks, off-center strikes, or doubled dies. These errors can turn an ordinary coin into a valuable collectible. Beyond its monetary value, the 1996 Lincoln cent is a piece of American history. It connects us to the legacy of Abraham Lincoln and the artistry of coin design. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting, every coin tells a story. 77 Jefferson nickel. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American currency since 1938. Designed by Felix Schlag, this coin features a profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, or head side, and a depiction of Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, on the reverse, or tails side. The design was chosen through a national competition, and Schlag's rendition has stood the test of time, remaining largely unchanged for decades. Now, let's zero in on the 1977 Jefferson nickel. This coin was minted in large quantities, with over 585 million produced at the Philadelphia Mint and another 297 million at the Denver Mint. Mintage Philadelphia 585 million, Denver 297 million. These nickels were struck primarily for circulation, which means they were intended to be used in everyday transactions. However, their value today can vary based on several factors. When it comes to determining the value of a 1977 Jefferson nickel, condition is key. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service PCGS or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation NGC. A higher grade means a more valuable coin. A 1977 Jefferson nickel in average circulated condition is typically worth its face value, about 5 cents. However, if you have a coin in uncirculated condition, it can be worth more. For example, a 1977 nickel with a grade of MS65 Mint State 65 can be valued between $1 and $2. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is discovering rare varieties and mint errors. For the 1977 Jefferson nickel, there are a few notable varieties that collectors look out for. A doubled die variety occurs when the coin is struck twice by the die, creating a doubled appearance on the design elements. An off-center strike happens when the coin is not properly aligned during minting, resulting in a misaligned image. The full steps designation is awarded to coins where the steps of Monticello are fully visible and unbroken, which is quite rare and increases the coin's value. The 1977 Jefferson nickel is not just a piece of currency, but a snapshot of American history. This was a time of significant events, including the presidency of Jimmy Carter, the ongoing Cold War, and significant advancements in technology and culture. Holding a 1977 Jefferson nickel is like holding a small piece of that history, a reminder of the everyday life and times of that era. So, whether you're looking to add a 1977 Jefferson nickel to your collection or simply want to understand its value and history, we hope this video has provided you with useful insights. Remember, the value of a coin is not just in its monetary worth, but in the stories and history it carries. 1981 Jefferson nickel. The obverse showcases Jefferson in a left-facing profile, accompanied by the words "In God We Trust Liberty" and the year of minting, 1981. The reverse displays Monticello, Jefferson's iconic home, along with the inscriptions E pluribus on a Monticello 5 cents and United States of America. Now, let's talk about the 1981 Jefferson nickel's value. As with any coin, the value is influenced by several factors: mint mark, condition, and rarity. In 1981, the Jefferson nickel was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia no mint mark, Denver D, and San Francisco S. The mint mark can be found on the obverse, just to the right of Jefferson's bust. The coins from Philadelphia and Denver are more common, while the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins specifically for collectors. Condition plays a crucial role in determining a coin's value. Coins are graded on a scale from poor P1 to perfect uncirculated MS70. For the 1981 Jefferson nickel, a coin in good G4 condition might be worth face value, while one in brilliant uncirculated MS65 condition could be valued significantly higher. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint are another story. These coins are specially made with a higher standard of quality, featuring sharp details and a mirror-like finish. A 1981 S-proof Jefferson nickel in perfect condition PR70 can be a valuable addition to any collection. To give you a better idea of the potential value, let's look at some numbers. As of now, a 1981P or 1981D Jefferson nickel in MS65 condition can be worth around $1 to $2. However, a 1981S proof nickel in PR70 condition could fetch around $10 to $15 or more, depending on the market. Identifying and preserving the condition of your coins is key to maintaining their value. Always handle your coins with care, using gloves if possible, and store them in a cool, dry place. So, whether you've come across a 1981 Jefferson nickel in your pocket change or you're considering adding one to your collection, you now have the knowledge to appreciate its history and assess its value. Thanks for joining us on Coin Collecting Chronicles. 1995 Jefferson Nickel. The 1995 Jefferson nickel is part of this long-running series. Minted at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, it's a coin that many people overlook in their pocket change. But today, we're going to show you why you might want to take a closer look at those nickels. In 1995, the U.S. Mint produced over 1 billion Jefferson nickels. Specifically, the Philadelphia Mint produced about 776 million, and the Denver Mint produced around 1.1 billion. Despite these high numbers, certain factors can make a 1995 Jefferson nickel more valuable to collectors. So, what makes some 1995 Jefferson nickels stand out? There are a few key factors: condition, mint mark, and any unique errors or varieties. First, let's talk about condition. Coins are graded on a scale from poor P1 to perfect mint state MS70. For the 1995 Jefferson nickel, those in mint state Mississippi 60 or higher can be worth more, especially if they are graded by a professional service like the Professional Coin Grading Service PCGS or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation NGC. Coins with no wear and strong strikes are the most sought after. An uncirculated 1995 Jefferson nickel can fetch a few dollars, while those in lower grades are typically worth face value. Next, let's consider mint marks. The 1995 Jefferson nickels come from 2 main mints: Philadelphia no mint mark and Denver D. While both are common, coins from the Philadelphia Mint can sometimes be slightly more desirable if they are in higher grades. But what really excites collectors are the errors and varieties. In 1995, there are known errors like die cracks, off-center strikes, and double dies. These errors can significantly increase the value of a coin. For example, a major off-center strike can be worth upwards of $50 to $100 or more, depending on the severity and overall condition. Now, let's talk about the current market value. As of now, a regular 1995 Jefferson nickel in circulated condition is worth around its face value, 5 cents. However, uncirculated examples can fetch around $0.25, 51 dollars, and those with rare errors or in exceptional condition can go for much more. So there you have it, folks. The 1995 Jefferson nickel might seem common, but as we've seen, there are plenty of factors that can make it a valuable addition to your collection. Always check your change, and you might just find a hidden gem. The 1979 new 1 penny Elizabeth coin is a part of the decimalization of the British currency system, which was introduced in 1971. Decimalization replaced the old pounds, shillings, and pence system, simplifying monetary transactions across the UK. Decimal day, or D-Day as it's often referred to, was February 15, 1971. It marked a significant change in British coinage, transitioning from the old system to a new one where the pound was divided into 100 new pence. On the obverse side of the 1,979 new 1 penny, we see the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machine. This portrait was used on British coins from 1968 to 1984 and features the Queen wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. The reverse side of the coin features a crowned portcullis with chains, an image that's long been associated with British Parliament. This design was created by Christopher Ironside and has become iconic in British numismatics. The portcullis design symbolizes the strength and security of British Parliament, a fitting emblem for the nation's currency. Now, let's talk about the specifications of this coin. The 1,979 new 1 penny is made of bronze, with a diameter of 20.3 millimeters and a weight of 3.56 grams. Its milled edge adds a nice touch of detail. But what about its value today? Well, the value of the 1,979 new 1 penny varies depending on its condition. In circulated condition, these coins are generally worth around their face value, which is 1 penny. However, uncirculated or proof versions can be more valuable to collectors, often fetching between PS1 and PS3, depending on their condition and rarity. You might find higher prices on online auction sites or at coin shows, especially if the coin is in pristine condition or part of a complete set of decimal coins from that year. So whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the 1,979 new 1 penny Elizabeth coin is a charming piece of British history that's worth having in your collection. Its historical significance and classic design make it a fascinating subject for any numismatist. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting, focusing on the 1971 United States half dollar. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this coin has an interesting history and some surprising details about its value. So let's get started. Here it is, the 1971 Kennedy half dollar. This coin is a significant piece of American numismatic history. Let's start with some background information. The Kennedy half dollar was first minted in 1964, just months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The design was meant to honor the late president, featuring his portrait on the obverse or front of the coin. The 1971 half dollar was notable for a couple of reasons. First, it marked the end of the silver composition. From 1965 to 1970, the half dollars were made with 40% silver, but starting in 1971, the coins were minted from a copper nickel-clad composition. The composition change made these coins more durable for everyday use, but also decreased their intrinsic metal value. Here's a quick breakdown of the coin specifications. Diameter 30.61 mm. Weight 11.34 grams. Composition copper nickel-clad 91.67% copper, 8.33% nickel. You can easily identify a copper nickel-clad coin by the edge. If you look closely, you'll see the copper core sandwiched between the nickel layers. The 1971 Kennedy half dollar was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins minted in San Francisco were part of special proof sets and bear the S mint mark, while those from Denver have a D mint mark. Coins from Philadelphia typically have no mint mark. So how much is a 1971 half dollar worth today? Generally, these coins are not particularly rare. In circulated condition, their value is usually just around face value, 50 cents, because they were produced in large quantities and don't contain silver. However, uncirculated coins and proof sets can be worth more. An uncirculated 1971 half dollar might fetch a few dollars, depending on its condition. Proof coins, especially those in perfect condition, can be more valuable to collectors, sometimes reaching up to $10 or more. When evaluating the value of a 1971 half dollar, consider its condition. Coins are graded on a scale from poor P1 to perfect mint state MS70. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. For instance, a coin in mint state 65 MS65 could be worth significantly more than one in a lower grade. It's always a good idea to have valuable coins professionally graded. Special varieties, such as error coins, can also be more valuable. For example, look out for coins with doubling, missing elements, or other minting errors. These can sometimes fetch a premium at auctions. In summary, while the 1971 Kennedy half dollar is a common coin, it holds historical significance and can be a great addition to any collection, especially in high grades or as part of a proof set. So, the next time you come across one, take a closer look. You might just find a hidden gem. The 1968 one-dime coin, also known as the Roosevelt dime, holds a unique place in American coinage. This coin features the image of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse side, which was designed by John R. Sinnock. The reverse side showcases a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength respectively. Now, let's delve into the history of this coin. The Roosevelt dime was first minted in 1946 to honor President Roosevelt after his passing. He was instrumental in the founding of the March of Dimes, which aimed to combat polio. The dime was chosen as a tribute to his legacy. In 1968, the United States Mint produced dimes at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The Philadelphia minted coins bear no mint mark, while the Denver minted coins feature a small D mint mark on the reverse side, to the left of the torch. Now, let's talk about the composition. The 1968 dime is made of a copper nickel-clad composition, which was first introduced in 1965 to replace the silver dimes due to the rising cost of silver. This composition includes an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to an inner core of pure copper. So what is the value of a 1968 one dime today? The value can vary depending on the coin's condition, mint mark, and any unique errors it might have. In general, a circulated 1968 dime is worth its face value of 10 cents. However, uncirculated and proof coins, as well as those with significant errors, can be worth more to collectors. For instance, a 1968 dime in uncirculated condition can fetch anywhere from $1 to $3 depending on its grade. Proof dimes, which were struck in San Francisco and bear an S mint mark, are also valuable. A proof coin can be worth around $1 to $2. Error coins are particularly interesting. Some of the known errors for the 1968 dime include off-center strikes, double dies, and die cracks. These errors can significantly increase the coin's value, sometimes reaching up to $50 or more, depending on the rarity and severity of the error. So whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the 1968 one-dime coin is a fascinating piece of history with its own unique charm and value. Make sure to check your change, as you never know when you might find a hidden gem. Featuring Queen Elizabeth II, we'll explore its history, design, and current value. So, if you're a numismatist or just curious, stay tuned. Let's start with a bit of history. The 5 new pence coin was introduced in the United Kingdom in 1968 as part of the decimalization process, which aimed to simplify the currency system. The coin replaced the pre-decimal shilling, with 1 new pence equal to 1/100th of a pound. On the obverse side, the coin features the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This portrait was used on coins from 1968 to 1984. Machin's depiction of the Queen is notable for its elegance and simplicity, capturing her in profile with the girls of Great Britain and Ireland. Tiara. The reverse side of the 1985 new pence coin displays the crown thistle, the emblem of Scotland, designed by Christopher Ironside. This design symbolizes the unity of the United Kingdom, with the thistle representing one of the 4 nations. Now, let's look at the specifications of the coin. The 1985 new pence coin is composed of cupro-nickel, an alloy of copper and nickel. It has a diameter of 23.59 millimeters and weighs 5.65 grams. The edge of the coin is milled, providing a tactile feature that helps distinguish it from other coins by touch. When it comes to the coin's value, several factors come into play, such as condition, rarity, and demand. Most 1985 new pence coins are relatively common, but those in mint condition or with unique errors can be of interest to collectors. In general, circulated coins in average condition are worth around their face value, which is 5 pence. However, uncirculated or proof versions can fetch higher prices. For example, a proof coin might sell for a few pounds, depending on the market. Error coins, such as those with misprints or striking mistakes, can be particularly valuable. If you happen to find an error on your 1985 new pence coin, it might be worth getting it appraised by a professional. The 1980 UK 5 new pence coin is a wonderful piece of numismatic history, representing a significant period in the evolution of British currency. The 1997 US 1 cent coin, also known as the Lincoln cent, is a staple in American currency. Let's explore its design, history, and what it's worth today. The Lincoln cent has a rich history, with its first design dating back to 1909. The 1997 version features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, a design that started in 1959 and continued until 2008. So what was happening in 1997 when this coin was minted? The late 90s were a time of technological innovation and economic growth in the United States. The stock market was booming, and the internet was becoming a household necessity. Amidst all this, the U.S. Mint continued to produce billions of pennies to meet public demand. In 1997, the U.S. Mint produced over 13 billion 1-cent coins across its 4 facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, and West Point. Most of these pennies were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, which can be identified by the lack of a mint mark on Philadelphia coins and a D on Denver coins. The 1997 Lincoln cent is composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, a change that was implemented in 1982 due to the rising cost of copper. These modern pennies are lighter than their predecessors, weighing just 2.5 grams. Now, let's talk about the value of these coins. Generally, a 1997 penny is worth its face value of 1 cent. However, uncirculated coins or those with errors can be worth more to collectors. An uncirculated 1997 penny might fetch around 30 cents to $1. High-grade examples graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC can be valued higher, sometimes up to $15 if they are in pristine condition. Keep an eye out for error coins. Some 1997 pennies have noticeable minting errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or filled dies. These errors can significantly increase the coin's value, sometimes ranging from $50 to even a few $100s depending on the rarity and type of error. 1964, 1 cent. The 1964 Lincoln cent is an interesting piece for many collectors. This coin was minted during a time of significant change in the United States, both socially and economically. But before we dive into its historical context, let's talk about the coin's design. On the obverse side, we have the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Lincoln's portrait is accompanied by the words "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 1964 on the right. Flipping the coin over to the reverse side, we see the wheat ears design, which was used from 1909 until 1958. By 1964, however, the reverse had been updated to feature the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. This change was made in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Now, let's place the 1964 Lincoln cent in its historical context. The early 1960s were marked by the Civil Rights Movement and significant economic growth in the United States. This coin was one of the last to be made from the traditional bronze composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc before the switch to a predominantly copper-plated zinc composition in 1982. 1964 was also a crucial year for the U.S. Mint. The country was experiencing a coin shortage, leading to increased production. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced an astonishing number of pennies, over 2.6 billion combined. This massive production run is one reason why 1964 pennies are relatively common today. So what about the value of a 1964 Lincoln cent? Generally, these coins are not rare, and their value in circulated condition is typically just a few cents. However, there are exceptions. Uncirculated or proof coins, especially those with a high grade, can be worth more. For example, a 1964 penny in mint state condition can fetch anywhere from $0.10 $1.0 if you happen to find a proof coin. It could be worth even more. Grading plays a crucial role in determining a coin's value. A coin in mint state MS65 condition will be worth significantly more than one in good G4 condition. So, if you have a 1964 penny, it's worth taking a closer look to see its condition. Another factor to consider is any mint errors or varieties. While there aren't many known major varieties for the 1964 Lincoln cent, any mint errors, like doubling or off-center strikes, can increase the coin's value significantly. 1968 1 cent, a bot. The 1968 1-cent coin, often referred to as the Lincoln cent, features the profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, a design that was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The reverse side of the coin, at the time, displayed the Lincoln Memorial, a design in use from 1959 until 2008. The year 1968 was a tumultuous time in American history. The country was deep in the Vietnam War, and the civil rights movement was in full swing. It was also a significant year for coin collectors, as the U.S. Mint made several changes to its production processes. In 1968, the U.S. Mint produced the 1-cent coin in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from the Philadelphia Mint do not have a mint mark, while those from Denver and San Francisco are marked with a D&S respectively. The composition of the coin remained largely the same as in previous years, made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. One interesting aspect of the 1968 Lincoln cent is the variations in mint marks. The San Francisco minted coins, in particular, can be more valuable, especially in higher grades, or if they display certain anomalies like doubling. Always check for the S mint mark when examining 1968 pennies. So what is the value of a 1968 US 1-cent coin today? It depends on the coin's condition or grade and the mint mark. In circulated condition, these coins are usually worth just their face value, 1 cent. However, in uncirculated or proof condition, their value can increase significantly. For instance, a 1968 S-proof penny in pristine condition can be worth around $1 to $2, while a high-grade uncirculated coin can fetch anywhere from $5 to $15 or more. For collectors, it's important to properly store and handle your coins to maintain their condition. Using gloves, coin holders, and keeping them in a controlled environment can help preserve their value. Additionally, getting your coins graded by a professional service can give you a better idea of their worth and authenticity. 1971 1 cent. The obverse, or front of the coin, features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has been in use since 1909, commemorating Lincoln's 100th birthday. On the reverse side, we have the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. If you look closely, you can even see a tiny depiction of the statue of Lincoln inside the memorial. Now, let's talk about the coin's composition. In 1971, the penny was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing 3.11 grams. This copper-rich composition is part of what makes older pennies like this one interesting to collectors. The edge of the 1971 penny is smooth, as is typical for us 1-cent coins. In 1971, the U.S. Mint produced pennies in both Philadelphia and Denver. You can identify which mint your penny comes from by looking for the mint mark. Coins minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those from Denver bear a small D on the obverse side, just below the date. Mint marks aren't the only things collectors look for. Error coins, such as those with double dies or off-center strikes, can significantly increase a penny's value. Always check your coins carefully. Speaking of value, the condition of your 1971 penny plays a crucial role. In general, circulated coins in good condition are worth around their face value, but uncirculated coins can fetch a higher price. For example, a mint state 1971 penny can be worth anywhere from 30 cents to several dollars, depending on its condition and market demand. Rarity also impacts value. While the 1971 penny is not particularly rare, certain factors like mint errors or exceptionally high-grade specimens can make your coin more valuable to collectors. If you're interested in collecting, here are a few tips. Always handle coins by the edges to avoid fingerprints. Store them in a cool, dry place, and consider using protective cases to prevent damage. 1980 1 cent. The 1980 US 1-cent coin, commonly known as the penny, is a staple in American currency. This coin features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front side, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This design has been in place since 1959, marking the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Before we dive into the specifics of the 1980 penny, let's take a quick look at its history. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909, replacing the Indian head cent. This was a significant shift, as it was the first time a real person's likeness appeared on an American coin. Now, let's focus on the 1980 penny. These coins were minted in large quantities, with over 7 billion produced across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. The Philadelphia mint produced the most, with no mint mark, while the Denver coins carry a small D, and the San Francisco proof coins are marked with an S. To identify where your 1980 penny was minted, look just below the date on the obverse side. If there's no mint mark, it's from Philadelphia. EAD indicates Denver, and an S shows it's a proof coin from San Francisco. The 1980 penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, with a weight of 3.11 grams. This composition remained until 1982, when rising copper prices led to a switch to a predominantly zinc coin with a thin copper coating. 1980 was a notable year in American history. Ronald Reagan was elected president. The U.S. faced significant economic challenges with high inflation, and the country was still reeling from the aftermath of the Vietnam War. Coins from this year carry a piece of that historical context, making them more than just currency. So what's a 1980 penny worth today? In circulated condition, these pennies are generally worth their face value of 1 cent. However, uncirculated and proof coins can fetch higher prices among collectors. An uncirculated 1980 penny can be worth about 25 cents to $1, depending on its condition. Proof coins can be even more valuable, especially if they are in pristine condition. If you're looking to preserve your 1980 pennies, make sure to store them in a cool, dry place. Use coin holders or albums to protect them from scratches and environmental damage. Handling them with clean hands or gloves will also help maintain their condition. The 1980 US 1 cent coin is a fascinating piece of American history, offering insight into the nation's past and the evolution of its currency. Whether you're collecting for historical interest, numismatic value, or just for fun, the 1980 penny is a worthy addition to any collection. 1944 Wheat Penny. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, designed by Victor David Brenner, was first minted in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This iconic coin was in circulation until 1958, and among the most notable years is 1944. 1944 was a unique year for the Lincoln Wheat Penny. World War II was in full swing, and the U.S. Mint had to make some significant changes due to wartime demands. In 1943, pennies were made from steel to conserve copper for the war effort. However, in 1944, the mint reverted to using copper, but there was a twist. The 1944 pennies were made from recycled shell casings. This blend of metal gives the 1944 penny a distinct composition compared to other years. The coins are made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, making them a fascinating piece of history. Let's take a closer look at the design. On the obverse, we have the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln with the words "In God We Trust" arching above. To Lincoln's left, liberty is inscribed, and the date 1944 appears to his right. On the reverse, we see 2 wheat stalks flanking the words 1 cent and United States of America with the Latin motto E pluribus unum above. This design, often called the wheat ears design, is a favorite among collectors. Now, let's talk value. The 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is generally common, but its value can vary based on condition and mint mark. Pennies minted in Philadelphia no mint mark, Denver D, and San Francisco S each have different values. For a 1944 penny in average circulated condition, you might expect it to be worth around 15 to 50 cents. However, uncirculated versions can fetch much more, often ranging from $5 to $10 to $10 or higher, depending on their grade. But here's where it gets exciting: error coins. A 1944 penny struck on a steel planchet from the previous year is incredibly rare and can be worth thousands of dollars. Always check your pennies carefully, you might have a hidden treasure. 1958 Wheat Penny. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, also known simply as the wheat cent, was first minted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin features Lincoln's profile on the obverse and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity. By 1958, the Lincoln Wheat Penny had been in circulation for nearly 50 years. This particular year marks the final production of the wheat cent design, as it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. The 1958 penny features the familiar image of Lincoln on the obverse and the iconic wheat stalks on the reverse, with E pluribus unum inscribed above. Most 1958 Lincoln wheat pennies were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which means they lack a mint mark. However, there were also pennies produced at the Denver Mint, which can be identified by the small d mint mark below the date. There are no significant varieties or errors for the 1958 penny that drastically impact its value, but always keep an eye out for any unusual characteristics that could pique the interest of collectors. In 1958, America was in the midst of a post-war boom. The economy was strong, the culture was vibrant, and the penny was a crucial part of everyday transactions. This historical context adds a layer of nostalgia and significance to the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny. Now let's talk about value. The 1958 Lincoln wheat penny is relatively common, with millions minted in both Philadelphia and Denver. As of today, a circulated 1958 penny is typically worth between 2 to 5 cents, depending on its condition. However, uncirculated or mint state pennies can be worth more, ranging from $1 to $5. The highest graded examples, particularly those graded MS-67 or higher, can fetch even higher prices, sometimes over $50 at auction. For those looking to add a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny to their collection, here are a few tips. Check the condition. Look for coins with minimal wear, clear details, and original luster. Consider professional grading for high-value pennies. Professional grading can authenticate and potentially increase value. Store properly. Keep your coins in a dry, cool place, preferably in protective holders to prevent damage. 1935 wheat penny. The 1930s were a challenging time for America. The Great Depression affected millions, and the economy was struggling. Despite these hardships, the U.S. Mint continued producing coins, including the Lincoln wheat penny. First minted in 1909, the Lincoln wheat penny was designed by Victor David Brenner to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse side features a profile of Lincoln, along with the words "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year of minting. On the reverse, you'll see 2 wheat ears framing the words 1 cent United States of America and the Latin phrase "e pluribus unum," meaning out of many. This design remained in use until 1958. Now, let's focus on the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny specifically. This penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark, while Denver and San Francisco coins are marked with a D and S respectively. In 1935, over 245 million pennies were minted in Philadelphia, about 47 million in Denver, and approximately 38 million in San Francisco. Because of these high mintages, the 1935 penny is generally not rare. However, the value can vary based on its condition and mint mark. In general, a 1935 Lincoln wheat penny in good condition might be worth around 10 to 20 cents. If it's in fine condition, the value could rise to about 50 cents. An extra fine penny might be worth $1 to $2. However, an uncirculated penny, especially one with a clear mint mark and no wear, could fetch $10 or more. To determine the condition of your coin, look for key details like the clarity of Lincoln's hair and coat, the sharpness of the wheat stalks, and the overall luster. The better the condition, the higher the value. Some variations can also affect value. For example, if there's a noticeable error, like a double die or an off-center strike, the coin could be worth significantly more to collectors. Collecting Lincoln wheat pennies can be a rewarding hobby, both financially and historically. The 1935 penny is a common but interesting part of this series. It's a great coin to start with if you're new to collecting. 1953 wheat penny. The Lincoln wheat penny, also known as the Wheatie, is an iconic piece of American numismatic history. The 1953 Lincoln wheat penny is no exception. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, this penny was minted until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. In 1953, the United States was in the midst of a post-war economic boom. Dwight D. Eisenhower was president, and the country was experiencing rapid growth and change. This penny carries with it the stories and spirit of that dynamic era. Let's take a closer look at the design. The obverse or front of the penny features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials, VDB, can be found at the base of Lincoln's shoulder on early versions of the coin. The reverse side features 2 wheat stalks flanking the denomination, which is why it's commonly called the wheat penny. Now, the 1953 penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia No Mint Mark, Denver D Mint Mark, and San Francisco S Mint Mark. The mint mark can be found just below the date on the obverse side of the coin. Value is one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting. The 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny's value varies depending on its condition and mint mark. Circulated coins in average condition are typically worth around 3 to 10 cents. However, uncirculated coins, especially those with a high grade, can be worth significantly more. For example, a 1953 S penny in brilliant uncirculated condition can fetch upwards of $5 to $10. The highest value comes from coins graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. A top-graded MS67 red 1953D penny can be valued at over $200. Collectors should also be on the lookout for notable varieties in error coins. Errors like double dies, repunched mint marks, and off-center strikes can significantly increase a coin's value. One of the most sought-after errors for the 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny is the double die obverse, where the design elements appear doubled. These coins are rare and can be worth hundreds of dollars depending on the severity of the doubling and the coin's condition. When collecting 1953 Lincoln Wheat pennies, it's essential to handle them properly to avoid damaging their surfaces. Use gloves and store them in a cool, dry place, preferably in protective holders or albums. 1954 Wheat Penny. The 1954 Lincoln Wheat Penny is a product of this rich history, minted during a time of post-war prosperity and cultural change in the United States. Let's take a closer look at the 1954 Lincoln Wheat Penny. The obverse or front features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Surrounding Lincoln's profile are the words "In God We Trust" and the year 1954. On the reverse, we see the classic wheat stalks, which give this penny its name, along with the phrases "E pluribus unum" and 1 cent. Now, there are a few key variations of the 1954 Lincoln Wheat Penny that collectors should be aware of. The most common are those minted in Philadelphia, which bear no mint mark, and those from Denver and San Francisco, marked with a small D or S, respectively. Each of these variations can affect the coin's value. So how much is a 1954 Lincoln Wheat Penny worth? Well, it depends on its condition and mint mark. In general, circulated coins from Philadelphia might fetch between 3 to 10 cents. However, uncirculated versions or those with a high grade from a grading service can be worth significantly more. For example, a 1954 D in uncirculated condition might range from $1 to $5, while a 1954 S could be valued between $0.50 and $0.02. High-grade specimens, especially those graded MS65 or higher, can command prices over $50. Speaking of grading, let's talk about the condition of these coins. Collectors use a grading scale from poor P1 to perfect mint state MS70 to determine a coin's condition. For the 1954 Lincoln Wheat Penny, those in higher grades like MS65 or above are the most sought after. Coins with original mint luster and no signs of wear are particularly valuable. Errors and varieties can also impact a coin's value. While the 1954 Lincoln Wheat Penny doesn't have many widely recognized errors, always keep an eye out for anomalies like doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes. These errors can make a common coin quite rare and significantly increase its value. So there you have it, the 1954 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a small piece of American history with a lot to offer for collectors. Whether you're hunting for these coins in your pocket change or scouring coin shows and auctions, knowing the history and value can help you make informed decisions. 1946 Wheat Penny. In 1946, America was transitioning from wartime to peacetime, and this penny is a small but significant artifact from that era. Let's delve into the details of its design. On the obverse, we have the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner. The words "In God We Trust" are inscribed above, with liberty to the left and the year 1946 to the right. On the reverse, you'll see the iconic wheat ears flanking the words "1 cent United States of America" and the Latin phrase "E pluribus unum", meaning out of many, one. In 1946, these pennies were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia No Mint Mark, Denver D Mint Mark, and San Francisco S Mint Mark. Over 1 billion of these coins were produced, but not all of them are equal in value. Philadelphia produced the most, with over 991 million coins, followed by Denver with about 315 million, and San Francisco with around 198 million. Now, let's talk about what you all came here for: the value of the 1946 Lincoln Wheat penny. Generally, the value of these pennies depends on their condition and mint mark. In lower grades, such as good G4 to very fine VF20, these coins are worth around 10 to 20 cents each. However, if you have one in extremely fine EF40 condition, it could be worth about 50 cents. The real value comes in higher grades like Mint State MS60 and above. A 1946 penny in MS60 can fetch around $2 to $5, while one in MS65 can go for $10 to $20. Coins from Denver and San Francisco tend to be slightly more valuable due to lower mintages. For example, a 1946 D penny in MS65 might be worth about $15, while a 1946S could be valued at $20 or more. And don't forget about error coins. Some 1946 pennies were struck off center or have die cracks, making them highly sought after by collectors. Depending on the type and severity of the error, these coins can range from $50 to several $100s. To sum it up, the 1946 Lincoln Wheat penny is a valuable piece of history and a great addition to any collection. Its value varies based on condition, mint mark, and potential errors, but even the most common pennies are worth more than their face value. 1945 Wheat penny. The year was 1945, the final year of World War II. America was celebrating the end of a long and arduous conflict. Amidst this historic backdrop, the U.S. Mint produced the 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny. This penny is not just a piece of currency, but a small, tangible piece of history from a pivotal time in our nation's past. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln Wheat penny was first minted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Brenner's design remained largely unchanged until it was replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial design. Let's take a closer look at the design. The obverse features the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, with the words "In God We Trust" arching above, liberty to the left, and the minting year, 1945, to the right. The reverse side showcases 2 wheat stalks surrounding the inscriptions E pluribus unum and 1 cent. This classic wheat design, also known as Wheaties, symbolizes prosperity and was used from 1909 to 1958. The 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia No Mint Mark, Denver D Mint Mark, and San Francisco S Mint Mark. While millions of these pennies were produced, the condition and mint mark can significantly affect their value. Philadelphia minted the most, followed by Denver, and then San Francisco, making the S Mint mark slightly more desirable among collectors. When it comes to determining the value of your 1945 Lincoln Wheat penny, several factors come into play. Condition is king. Coins are graded on a scale from poor P1 to Mint State Mississippi 70. A 1945 penny in poor condition might only be worth a few cents above face value. However, those in extremely fine XF condition can fetch around $0.20, $0.50, zero uncirculated coins, especially those graded MS65 or higher, can be valued between $1 to $10 depending on the mint mark. 1955 Wheat penny. First, let's travel back to 1955. The Lincoln Wheat penny was produced by the United States Mint from 1909 to 1958. This coin features the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor D. Brenner. The reverse showcases 2 wheat ears, symbolizing America's agricultural heritage. The 1955 Lincoln Wheat penny is particularly famous for a significant minting error known as the 1955 doubled die obverse. This error occurred due to a misalignment during the minting process, causing the inscriptions and date to appear doubled. This mistake created one of the most sought-after error coins in numismatics. Coins with this doubling are easy to spot. If you look closely at the date and the inscriptions, you'll notice a clear, doubled image. It's this unique feature that makes the 1955 doubled die penny incredibly valuable to collectors. Now, let's talk value. The worth of a 1955 Lincoln wheat penny varies greatly depending on its condition and whether it has the doubling error. A regular 1955 wheat penny without any errors in circulated condition might fetch around 15 to 50 cents. However, a well-preserved, uncirculated coin could be valued at $5 to $10. But here's where it gets exciting. A 1955 doubled die obverse penny in good condition can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. In fact, one in mint state can command prices upwards of $1,500 to $15,000 or more, depending on its grade. Recent auctions have seen these coins sell for impressive amounts. For instance, a high-grade example sold for nearly $50,000. So, if you think you have a 1955 penny with the doubling error, it's worth getting it authenticated and graded by a professional. To determine the exact value of your 1955 penny, you'll want to consider its grade. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a flawless mint state. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC can provide an official grade, giving you a more precise idea of your coin's worth. So whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, keep an eye out for the 1955 Lincoln wheat penny. You might just have a hidden treasure in your pocket change or coin collection. Thanks for joining us on this journey through coin history. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more coin collecting tips and historical insights. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or if you want to share your own coin discoveries. Until next time, happy collecting.